is maybe the best mobile controller of the year, and I can't use it as much as I'd like to. This episode of Some Gadget Guy is brought to you by viewers like you. All the amazing folks who share content on social media, and the incredible generosity of my patrons at patreon.com/SomeGadgetGuy. More info on those awesome geeks later in the video. The super cool folks at GameSir sent this my way to take on a test drive and share my thoughts. It's the GameSir G8 Plus, a mobile-focused controller for phones or small tablets or the Nintendo Switch, but it connects over the Bluetooths. Well, not exclusively over the Bluetooths. Actually, it's a bit more flexible than that. This is the Bluetooth variant of the Galileo, and it's been out for a little while. I've been using it for a couple months now, and it gets so much right. I really love it, but I can't quite lean on it as much as I was hoping to. Of course, a quick rundown on the specs and the hardware. GameSir has stepped up to high quality components like anti-drift Hall effect sticks, and this is incredibly silky action for a little mobile controller here. Of course, we have Hall triggers that can work either as linear throttles for racing or as hair triggers for your favorite shooters. It's got a great chunky build. It just feels like a proper controller that's just been stretched out a little. Plenty of room in these grips for excellent haptic motors. Now, there aren't a lot of games that I play that might use this, but there is a built-in gyro for that kind of movement control if that's your jam. I really like the clicky action here on the D-pad, but I wish the A, B, X, Y buttons were just a little sharper or a little clackier too. But it's such a cool aspect of this controller, also found on the USB-C version of the Galileo, that we can pull these little magnetic covers off the sides. Makes it easier to get to things like the sticks if we ever need to do a replacement there, and we can customize the buttons. You can just pull the caps directly off the buttons. As a concept, I have to believe that we're all really familiar with this idea. We've got a slider here that we slot a phone in between these two sides, and the controller cradles this and gives you kind of an extended game console sort of experience. And we've got these rails, these kind of rubbery rails here on the sides that are supposed to grip the phone and keep it in place. And when that controller is extended for the phone, that's when it turns on the little Bluetooth action right there. Should connect right away and you're off and playing your games. Easy peasy. But here's why I have not been able to use this with as many phones that I like to use. I like the phones with the big cameras. I like the phones with the absolute best camera hardware, not phones that are crazy expensive with good enough camera hardware that will just lean overly on software processing. You know, the phones that we get here in North America. I want the best cameras I can get when I'm spending over $1,000 on a phone, but these are also super high performance devices that could also do a good job of gaming. They're not just content creation devices. This really broad, flat backbone for the G8 Plus is more difficult to line up with our ultra-tiered devices. My Vivo and Xiaomi, even my OnePlus phones, are some of the most powerful phones of the year, and you can see they aren't gonna grip. That camera module is gonna bump right out of this slider mechanism, and it's not gonna stay deep enough, and it's just gonna pop right back out. Basically, I'm gonna break either the phone or the cradle at some point if I keep trying to do this. It's just such a bummer because these are excellent options for gaming and emulation, and they're just gonna spring right out of the G8 Plus. Now, my Pixel 9 Pro is one of the poorest options for gaming this year, and it slots in there perfect. Look at that, it's a perfect fit. Looks great. This is the most expensive phone of 2024 with one of the least powerful GPUs to really get good gaming action. If that's what you want, that's gonna fit really well. Where I have been using this, it's actually a pretty good fit for my OnePlus Open. Using the inner display, and on the back, you can see it clears the camera module, and you can do some awkward things too, because one of the frustrating things about Android is not all games will rotate correctly for the orientation of a foldable. So sometimes you even need to flip it so the camera module is under the controller grip, but that still works too. Now, GameSir touts this as universal compatibility. I would normally be mocking that kind of statement or claim, especially because of my experiences with the big chunky camera sensor phones. But in this regard, it's truer than I was expecting. My issues with phone fit notwithstanding, the controller brings a feature that I absolutely love and that I wish was on more of our other backbone style solutions for game controllers. We can use the G8 Plus plugged in. I adore this. It's a USB cable. So obviously this is not gonna fit my OnePlus Pad 2, at least not in the right action, in the right orientation, but I can pop in a cable and here I am playing one of my all-time favorite horror games, Alien Isolation, with a big chunky controller. This is gonna work for PC. I believe it'll work with a Mac depending on the games that you like to play. I've been asking for this on a bunch of our other kinds of controllers, whether they're wired or wireless. Being able to connect to a standard PC means you can, have a laptop, play games on a laptop, play games on a phone, play games on a Switch, and have one controller that can support all of those different devices. I really like it when a controller gives us more flexibility and it's more interoperable with numerous computers that we might own. I've been playing with a few of these. I don't really consider myself the hardcore gamer, but these kinds of options and getting more use out of a phone or a tablet or something else, these controllers really do help expand on the compute capabilities of our ridiculously powerful pocket computers. GameSir has obviously put a lot of thought into this product. There are a lot of attention to little details, cleaning up many of the complaints that we've had with some of their previous products. I think this right here does a very good job of improving on the experience that we used to have with these types of sliders. But I still think that there's a recommendation to be made for some of these other options depending on what phone you're going to use with this. So if your phone has a bigger camera module or something that won't slot into this kind of rectangular space here on the side of the G8 Plus, you'll probably instead want to look at a Bluetooth solution like GameSir's, where they have the aileron, and these two panels can slot to the sides of your phone. This does a much better job with some of my bigger camera module phones. Or recently, we also took a look at the Asus. There's an ROG controller here. Tessin has an adjustable little mini bracket right here, and this backbone strip is really easy to kind of place around different camera sizes, different camera bulges. But if the G8 Plus is gonna fit your phone, and you think you might want one controller that can also play nice with your phone, a tablet, a PC, a laptop, or a Nintendo Switch, then I think GameSir is making a strong argument to get your cash. I mean, especially now at a price that is exceedingly competitive. So I will leave more information on this, the GameSir G8 Plus. Maybe you'll wanna shop one of these bad boys online, and you'll find that in the links down below this video. I love testing out phone performance and tablet performance, and the folks who get to see the results of my comparisons first are my amazing patrons over at patreon.com/SomeGadgetGuy. A huge thank you from the bottom of my heart. These are the folks that are helping to keep the lights on here in the Gadget Lab, and they're just genuinely a really fun group of geeks to hang out with. They're very good people, so I hope you'll check them out. Patreon.com/SomeGadgetGuy. And you know where you can find me around the rest of the internet, at SomeGadgetGuy, basically everywhere. But these days I'm trying to spend a bit more time on the Mastodons, a little less so on the Facebooks and the Instagrams, and definitely not on the Twitters. That place is a dumpster fire. And I will catch you all on the next review.